Open the meeting, April 15th. As a preliminary matter, this is Woody Knight, Chair of the Newbury Planning Board. Permit me to confirm that all members and persons anticipated on the agenda are present and can hear me. Planning Board members, when I call your name, please respond in the affirmative. Peter Pecos,
Yes, sir.
Larry Murphy,
Yes.
Scott Kinter,
Yes.
and Steve Mangian.
Yes.
And town staff, Kristen Grubbs, Planning Director,
Yes.
and Sadie Woodward, Assistant Planner.
Yes.
Very good. Good evening. April 15th, 2026. Open meeting of the Newbury Planning Board is being conducted remotely consistent with Chapter 2 of the Acts of 2025, which extends the Governor's March 12, 2020 order suspending certain provisions of the open meeting law, GLC 30A 20, until June 30th, 2027. For this meeting, the Newbury Planning Board is convening by video conference via Zoom, as posted on the Planning Board's agenda, which can be found on the town's website. You may join us by going to http://zoom.us and entering meeting ID number 832-7141-3056. And the passcode is 108790. Or on telephone by calling in at 1-929-205-6099 US and entering the meeting ID number and passcode when prompted. Please note that this meeting is being recorded and that attendees are participating by video and on telephone conference. The meeting is also being broadcast live through local access cable channel 9 and on Zoom and at newburytv.wixsite.com/tnctv. And the recording will be available on the Newbury Access YouTube channel. Meeting business ground rules. Before we turn to the first item on the agenda, permit me to cover some ground rules for effective and clear conduct of our business and to ensure accurate meeting minutes. As chair, I will introduce each speaker on the agenda. After speakers conclude their remarks, I'll go down the list of board members, inviting each by name to provide any comment, questions, or motions. For all attendees, please remember to mute your audio when you are not speaking. On Zoom, there's a mute button. On your phone, please use *6 to mute and to unmute. There will be an opportunity for public comment and questions during the public hearings. I'll seek questions and comments from members of the public through the Zoom raise hand function. Video conference participants, to raise your hand, hover over the bottom of the Zoom window below the photo gallery and click on the image of the hand that appears. Please ensure that your name is fully and correctly displayed on the participant list. Telephone participants, to raise your hand in the Zoom meeting, hit *9 on your telephone keypad. Each participant will be called on to provide his or her name and address, and then may ask their question or make a comment. Please do your best to keep your comments or questions to 3 minutes or less. Your hand will be lowered when you have been given the floor for your questions or comments. I will afford the applicant or their representative the opportunity to reply. Should there be a written submittal of questions or concerns, they will be noted for the record. The applicant will be afforded the opportunity to speak if the issues raised have not yet been addressed. And finally, each vote taken in this meeting will be conducted by roll call vote. All right, as the preamble. First item on the agenda this evening is liaison and meeting reports. So we have CBA, Larry.
I don't have much to report, Woody. They're actually meeting tonight at 7:30 in the meeting room at Town Hall. And I believe the only item on the agenda is a continued public hearing, in which the applicant has requested a further continuance. So I guess we'll have a short meeting.
Okay, thank you, Larry. Next is Conservation Commission. That would be me. We met was it last Tuesday? I believe it was last Tuesday we met. And the only thing that I recall on the agenda, we had quite a few things on the agenda. It was actually a lengthy meeting, but The only thing on the agenda that I recall was 34 Central Street. It was starting the process of vetting the exit road, and there was some discussions, and some members had required some more information that was going to be needed. We had some public comment, and we basically will meet again next month and have some more information provided. And we have a site walk as well tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. So we'll get some feet on the ground and get our eyes on some of the things that were brought up and that were of concern. So hopefully the ball will keep rolling with that. And they also had a notice of intent to raise the house and buildings and outbuildings and other things on the property that all fall within the buffer. So that was approved after a lengthy discussion about protocols and erosion control and what to do with the foundation and things like that. So they'll be allowed to clean off the site and stabilize it. So they're all good things. So that's all I have for conservation. I don't recall anything else that pertains to us at this time. Next thing is MVPC. Sadie, do you have a report?
I don't, but I think Kristen might have some things to report.
Oh, okay. Okay.
We have the MVPC commissioners meeting tomorrow. And then the planning group is a week from tomorrow. So we'll have updates on those meetings at the next planning board meeting.
Okay. Thank you, Kristen, and thank you, Sadie. That we'll hear that at our next meeting. So I have a 7:09 planning board meeting minutes. Has everyone had a chance to review the meeting minutes from April 1st, 2026? And does anyone have any questions, comments, or edits?
Woody, I have not. I think they came out today, so I haven't had a chance to look at those.
Okay. I actually have not had a chance to look at them myself either. Anyone else have the chance to look at them today?
I did. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
I reviewed the minutes.
You did. All right.
Yeah, as did I. I don't have any. I didn't have anything. No changes.
Okay.
Yeah, I read through them, and I read through them. They seem fine to me.
All right. What are your wishes? If you want to, do you want to entertain a motion? I'd entertain a motion to approve the meeting minutes.
I'll move to approve the meeting minutes.
All right.
Second.
Okay. Pete,
I'll abstain.
Todd?
I'll abstain. Yeah.
Larry,
Yes.
Scott,
Yes.
and Steve.
Yes.
Thank you, and I'll abstain as well. So meeting minutes are approved for April 1st, 2026. Now, I have 7:11, so we have a few minutes here.
I can start in on the planner's report if we want to, or we can wait.
Yeah, if you'd like, I was thinking of maybe talking about the fiscal year 27 appointments, but that might take more than 4 minutes. So if you want to start on a plans report, we'll get through what we can get through in 3 minutes and then pick it up at the end.
All right. I've been keeping you guys apprised of the Boston Road Route 1 intersection improvements project. I reported last time that we had been awarded the federal funding, which is really great. And then we also got the news this week that we got the match funding award for $80,000, which is really exciting. And we just met with DPW yesterday to discuss beginning that RFP process. So that's moving right along, and I'm really excited. So I will keep updating as we go through that. And that's all I have at the moment. Kristen, I think you might have had some things.
Yeah, thanks. We're super excited about those 2 grant awards. And instead of the town having to put up the match for the federal funding, we found another source for that funding. So it's pretty exciting. I think it's going to get us all the way through design work for improvements at that intersection. Let's see. I wanted to just quickly update the board. I've got a couple minutes. I wanted to let you know that the applicant, John Colantoni at 108 Main Street, did submit and record his performance guarantee, which was the final bit of the approval that the board gave him for an extension on his project. So that legal paperwork has been completed and recorded at the registry, and his construction work, my understanding is his schedule shows he'll be starting in early May. So that work should be picking up again at 108 Main Street, which is great. And then just a quick update on 170 Orchard, which was on our last agenda. We do not have that on the agenda tonight. We are waiting for comments to come in. The applicant has resubmitted additional information to the fire department and to the health department. And so we're waiting on those comments to come in to share with the planning board and discuss with the applicant at a future meeting. So I'll keep you posted about that. That's it.
Okay, very good. Well, good stuff. And it'll be interesting to see the improvements on Route 1. Sometimes that has been a troublesome intersection. So it's good work on everyone's part to improve things in town. And the clock ticks here. I have 7:15, so we'll get started with our first public hearing. Our public hearing this evening. This is a public hearing continuance to finish definitive subdivision road subdivision application for 15 Central Street. Assessors map U11 lot 53 for a 2-lot subdivision. Applicant owner Mike Becker, 15 Central Street, Byfield, LLC. I'd like to welcome Mike, Carissa, and the engineers Paul and Jack. And with that, I believe we have them here. I see the screens popping up. Do we have an update from you guys?
I'm here. I'm trying to get my video to work, but for some reason it's not doing so.
Okay, Mike.
So I'm here with my partner, Carissa Vitas, and Jack Sullivan, the project civil engineer, and Paul Finocchio, the project surveyor. And with that, I will turn it over to Paul and Jack.
Thank you.
Good evening, Paul Finocchio, PGF and Associates. We did submit in a set of plans, probably about a week or so ago, updating some of the comments that we received from the board. And if you want, I can share those drawings. So I don't know if you can see the sheets yet.
You should be able to share, but I don't see anything yet, Paul.
I just put them up on the screen, so hold on.
Maybe an attempt to try again would help. I don't know if you were quite co-host before you got popped up. So
I don't know why it's not coming in on the screen. It's showing up on my screen, but I don't know why you're not receiving it.
I'm open for suggestions, but
Um,
maybe closing it and opening it again. I don't know.
I don't know. It's on my screen, but I don't know why it's not sharing.
Paul, what are you attempting to share at the moment?
The subdivision plans.
Okay. You're co-host, so you should be able to share, but if it's not working, I can share on my end and go through it if that's
Okay.
all right with you.
That's fine.
Okay. I apologize. I'm
Thank you
not sure
for-
why that's not working.
Thank you. That'd be helpful. And just direct Sadie when you want her to change pages.
All right. Can people see my screen?
Yes.
All right. Trying to make it bigger. All right.
We can see that, Sadie.
Okay. Awesome.
Thanks.
Feel free to direct me.
Yeah, I'm sorry, but I can't see anything. I got back onto a different screen here now. Possible, Jack, if you could pick it up from until I get back in here.
Sure. I'll pick it up from there. Thank you for loading that, Sadie. I'm going to just recap some of the changes. If we go to sheet number 5.
Mhm.
Okay, so sheet number 5. On this sheet, and on the upper part of the sheet, the peer reviewer had asked us to provide a sewage loading rate for each lot. We provided a table up at the top. Since we're in a zone 2 of a water supply, we showed how the maximum build out for septic on each lot. So on the duplex lot, we're able to have 6 bedrooms total, 3 bedrooms per unit. And then on the single family lot, we can have up to four bedrooms for that house. So that's one change we made. Another thing that came up is we at the last meeting, if you remember, we put a rain garden in for our stormwater management. We replaced the porous pavement with the rain garden, and the peer reviewer had brought up that he didn't see a test hole in the location of the rain garden. Our original submittal, we had shown some of the testing that was done on day 1 by the soil evaluator. There was additional testing done on a second day. We received the information. It was witnessed by the Board of Health. And you can see a test hole has been added in the vicinity of the rain garden now. And we demonstrate the soil conditions, and we had a good determination of where the groundwater table, maximum seasonal groundwater table is. So we were able to show that the rain garden is at least 2 feet over the high groundwater table, which is required by DEP stormwater standards. So those were 2 things on that sheet that were added. Separately, the peer reviewer asked for a total suspended solids removal worksheet. That's just part of the stormwater policy. And I did provide that to the peer reviewer. It's not on this plan sheet, but it was a spreadsheet that I submitted to the peer reviewer. Can you scroll so I can see the bottom of the plan?
Oh, on that same sheet, you mean?
On sheet 5 towards the bottom.
Okay.
Okay, yeah. And so at the site entrance, there were comments from the peer reviewer that he'd like to see the proposed top and bottom of wall elevations. So we did provide top and bottom of wall elevations along both sides of the roadway. Let's call it the right side of the roadway. As you're looking at this sheet on the right side, the first 25 feet in, we limited the wall height to 3 feet so that vehicles exiting the duplex lot will have sufficient sight distance out. So we didn't want to a high barrier wall or fencing or any sort of landscaping that would be too high and restrictive drivers' eyesight coming out. So we did note that on the plan. Okay, now if we go to sheet 9, the last sheet. Yep, that sheet. Yep, that's the right sheet. So at some of the public meetings we've had with some of the abutter comments and board comments, there were questions on what trees were going to exist on the site, what would be removed. They, show the pre-inventory of trees and the post after the duplex and the driveway get built. So on this plan, you can see a driveway was added. That was really in relation to one of the abutters who wanted to kind of see. We had shown the duplex house location on the plan, but we hadn't showed a driveway. Now we show that. And then you can see the trees that will remain on site to the left side of the duplex and to the left of the drive coming in. So there's a good amount of mature trees that will remain. So that was another thing that was added. And you don't have to switch sheets for this, but in the previous roadway design, we had grass swales on each side of the roadway. Those were no longer needed, where we had changed the drainage design to providing a trench drain out at the intersection with the existing roadway. So we were able to eliminate the grass swales, and we extended the trench drain to go beyond the pavement limits. So any water coming down the shoulder or the pavement section will be captured in the trench drain and conveyed to the rain garden. So those were the engineering changes made to the plan set. I know there's some feedback on there were a few road improvement plans looked at by Merrimack Valley Planning, the planning department, and DPW. And I think at this point, I'll turn it back over to the board planning department to talk more on that. And then we can circle back to those proposed improvements.
Okay, thank you, Jack. Sadie and Kristen, would you like to speak to that?
Yeah. So updates on our end. I believe all the board members and members of the applicant's team should have received the proposed transportation or intersection concepts. And on our end, on the staff end, we spoke with Newbury DPW about this. So they would have, a major say in what would happen here. And after discussing with them, staff are recommending that concept 1 be pursued, as it will provide the necessary safety improvements that have been brought up as concerns by board and the public. But it will also be the least amount of impact and the least burden on the applicant in getting their permitting process through and getting their project finished. So that, and the DPW also agreed that this was their preferred option. So those are updates on our end.
Okay.
So,
Thank you.
oh, and I can show that if
Yeah.
needed, if people would like to see concept 1, what's proposed.
Yes, please.
Okay.
Sorry, that was about the next thing in my mouth. I was struggling.
So yeah, concept 1 is very simple. It would be the teeing off of this corner right in front of the 15 Central Street property, and it would greatly improve sightlines of cars coming onto Church Street. So they would be, the front of their car would be pointed directly at the proposed roadway coming in here, and it would require them to slow down. So it's been determined that those are, addressing the concerns that have been brought up.
Very good. That was great that MVPC could provide us with
Yeah, definitely.
details. If you or Kristen have anything else, if not, I will turn to the planning board members. Hearing nothing, Pete, do you have any questions or comments?
Just clarification, Sadie, this is in the right of way of the town. Is that right?
That's correct.
Okay. And the cost for doing this improvement would be on the applicant.
Correct.
Okay. And this would require the select board also to approve this recommendation.
Yes.
Okay. So there are just a couple things to keep in mind there. So
Right.
this is cost saving, slows the speed, creates better line of sight, and is easily addressed. Okay, great. Thank you. I appreciate MVPC's input. Thank you.
Thank you, Pete. Larry, do you have any questions or comments?
Just a quick question for Jack Sullivan. I was in going over Joe Sawetka's March 31st letter and your response of April 8th, Jack. I kind of got a little bit lost in the engineering. Is it your feeling that you've met all of Joe's concerns?
Yes, and Joe and I weren't far apart. It was just really, he wanted that soil test hole, which made sense. There should be one, and we do show it. And just that TSS removal sheet, everything else he was good on with my drainage analysis. So it was really just some bookkeeping issues. So I think we're good, but obviously we need a memo from him saying he's good. Okay,
thank you. And just for what it's worth, in reviewing the road improvement plans or suggestions, option 1 seemed the most practical to me as well. Thank you. That's all I have, Woody.
All right, thank you so much, Larry. Scott, do you have any questions, comments?
No questions or comments.
Okay, thank you. Steve, do you have any questions or comments?
No, just to note that keeping it simple seems like a good outcome.
Okay, thank you. And I appreciate the wall heights posed on there because it is important to keep the line of sight open as you're exiting the duplex on the roadway. I appreciate option 1. It seems like the most reasonable and cost effective, and also really makes things safe because it's going to improve the line of sight and slow you down as you enter church. I know there's been many comments made about people's speed, and so they used to whip it right in there. So I think that's a vast improvement. I thank MVPC for the suggestions as well, because I think they came up with a good one here. So that said, if there's no other comments from planning board members, no other comments from staff, I do have a question for staff actually. So we'll be waiting for a few comments from Joe Schwalker, peer review for the rebuttal from Jack the engineer, correct, Kristen?
Yes, and they actually just came in a very short while ago, so I will distribute them to the board and the applicant. But as I think Jack said, it looks like things are in good shape, but I'll share his letter.
Okay, thank you. Understanding that we all didn't get a chance to see that today, so coming in last minute. So we will pick up any concerns that may have come up on that, but it sounds like things are in good shape. So with that, I guess we'll raise hands if any members of the public have any comments or questions.
I do have one additional comment.
Yeah, go right ahead, Mike.
Yeah. So last week I did meet with neighbors, Tom Rogers and Mike, my next door neighbor, and it's my understanding that it's their preference for option 4 to make it a dead end street, and that would be my preference as well. And I don't object. My partner as well, Carissa, is on here. We do not object to the additional cost of the curb going all the way across to create a dead end at the end of the street. However, I understand this is all subject to the approval of the select board, so just throwing it out there for the record. We like the dead end scenario. We don't mind paying for the dead end scenario. And that's it.
Okay, thank you for that comment, Mike, and I'll just briefly speak to that, it's a road, it's well used. I feel by making it safer with a little reconfiguration at the end will vastly improve the speeds that you're seeing on Church Street. And I'm not a fan of closing roads. And I'll leave it at that for now. If any other planning board members have any comments, speak up. With that, Kristen, do we have, or Sadie, whoever's viewing raised hands, do we have any raised hands from the public?
Yes. Tom Rogers, feel free to unmute. Go ahead.
Hi, it's Tom Rogers, 15 Church Street. So as Mike Becker mentioned, we did talk about it, and I would say the majority of the residents on this section of Church Street would be happy for it to be closed. The reason I originally raised my hand was what were the different options. So now we know 1 and 4, but we don't know what options 2 and 3 are.
Okay. Sadie, would you like to share the other options that MVPC came up with, please?
Sure, yes. So option 1 we have discussed. It is just the this corner keyed off to make the intersection more of a perpendicular crossing. Option 2 is teeing off the intersection and narrowing the street. So this is all in the town right of way and can be narrowed as far as we know. But obviously further survey work would have to be done. But yeah, that's concept 2. Concept 3 is the dead end. There would be curbing here, and also this would be two-way. There's an arrow just indicating that the direction would, go both ways. And it would also include narrowing of the street. And option 4 is sidewalk, connecting to an existing sidewalk on Central Street in front of the AL Prime gas station, curbing here, and then a crosswalk all the way down Church Street. So those are the four concepts.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Any other questions or comments, Mike? Is it? Oh no, I'm sorry, Tom Rogers. Any other questions or comments?
Yeah, so I had a few other questions not related to the intersection, though.
No,
If we could talk later on that.
the floor is yours. So go ahead with your other comments so they can be addressed.
Okay, so I was wondering if we could get a side view of the proposed two-family, some sort of artist renderings of what it's going to look like. Is it going to be in keeping with the historical nature of the neighborhood? So I think, the sooner we could see some of those side views, that would be helpful. And as far as the other thing for the closing was, I don't know how many people have looked at the intersection of Green Street and Parker Street up by the Newbury Upper Green, but that's a similar situation to Church Street where they closed it down at where it intersected Parker Street, and it's a much safer setup because you don't have people cutting through, because it's definitely a problem here. People come off of 95 at 80 miles an hour. They come across the bridge at 45 or 50 miles an hour. Maybe they slow down to 30, 25 maybe, but if we're lucky. But I mean, they're coming down Church Street 30 miles an hour, and a pretty good percentage of them go right through the stop sign without stopping. So I don't know that that's going to change once they get past this perpendicular entry. They're going to speed right up again. So that's my complaint there as far as the traffic.
We have children. And
Yeah,
grandchildren.
there's children, there's grandchildren
Four
now
houses.
running around. So it's definitely a safety issue with the traffic. People that are cutting through can very easily go down Main Street. I go down Central to Main Street, and it's much quicker that way. I have a coworker that did that. He used to cut down Church, and when he started going down to Main, found out it was actually faster than coming down Church. So, there's that. The stop sign. And the other thing was the other two options. Now that I've seen them, I don't like the idea of sidewalks. It's not in keeping with the rural nature of Byfield Village. So I would say definitely no sidewalks or curbs. I think that about covers it.
All right, thank you, Tom, for your comments. And when this does go before the select board, you can bring some of that up too, as far as you're concerned with them, because they're inevitably the ones that are going to have to approve this intersection change.
Yeah,
So,
thank you. So will they notify us, or we'll just have to keep an eye on the agendas?
that's a good question. Kristen, could you speak to that? How did the process in 34 Central Street work?
If improvements on public owned land is conditioned as part of the decision, it would be responsibility of the applicant. We would certainly support them with DPW as well to get on to request being on a select board agenda. It wouldn't be a public hearing, so there wouldn't be legal notices or abutter notices, but we certainly can be sure to alert the neighbors and keep in touch on that.
Thank you.
All right.
Woody, can I just make an observation?
Yes, Larry.
Yeah, regardless of what we decide with the subdivision, there's no reason why the neighborhood couldn't initiate something with the select board at any point if you feel that you want that as a dead-end street. Just a thought. You always have the ability to go forward and petition the select board for that. Once again, regardless of what we decide here.
Okay, very good.
It's good to know. Thank you.
Thank you, Tom, and thank you, Larry. Any other raised hands? Say to you, Kristen.
Yes, Mike F., you have the floor.
Thank you.
Okay, I guess your name and address, please, and your comments or questions, please.
Mike Fabiano of 17 Church Street, the abutter of 15 Central Street subdivision. I'll keep it quick about the dead end because I think I'm of like-minded with Tom. It's a safety issue. I mean, it's once people get through that, if you do go with option one, once people get through that, if you tee off that corner, but they're just going to floor it to the intersection to get home. So, I mean, I'm all for the dead end. I think it's a safety issue. But I'll we'll talk more about that when we can get to the select board. But did have a nice walk with Mike the other day about going over screening options. The only thing that I think is worth it too is just to have it be a condition for screening, just in case, down the road, if something never should happen with selling the lot and selling it to someone else who I don't speak to, I know that might not happen, but I do think it is worth having it be a condition in the subdivision to have screening in between my property and the subdivision. As opposed to just verbal talks.
I have no objection to that. We can put that as a condition.
Great.
Anything else?
That's it for me.
All right, thank you so much for your comments. Any other raised hands, Kristen and Sadie?
Yes, yes, please.
Tom Rogers, I believe you had your hand raised.
Hi, my name is Trish Rogers. I'm Tom's wife. So I did want to just express my concerns.
Your address, please. Sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry, 15 Church Street. So
Thank
we
you.
are in a butter.
Okay. Go ahead.
I do want to address my concerns with this street. And of course, there are many people here who would like to see it become a dead end. Because as my husband explained, they come around that corner, and I've done it myself. You come off the highway at 30, you go past the gas station, you make that turn at 30 miles an hour. You don't even realize you're going that fast. And then they fly through the stop sign. 4 of the abutters now have small children. We have grandchildren. Our neighbors have a 2-year-old. We have a 4-year-old grandson, a 4-month-old granddaughter. People across the street have a newborn. People across the street as well have grandchildren. So we are really nervous about how people drive down this street. And because I do a lot of gardening out front, I've actually heard them belt the gas to go through the stop sign as fast as they can. It is insane. So if there is any way that we could close that off for safety reasons, we would really appreciate that. When we moved here 43 years ago, the traffic was, so much less than it is today. It's really become a problem. And now the thought of that driveway going in, those people are going to have a lot of trouble getting in and out of that driveway. It is not safe. So thank you for hearing me. And I think we will start a petition.
With the
With the selectmen. Yeah.
Yep. Thank you so much. And thank you for your comments. I appreciate it.
Thank you very much. I appreciate you listening.
Yep. Any other comments, questions? Raised hands, I mean.
Just a quick question about the screening, Mike, and because I think the last set of plans you submitted were before you met with the neighbors and talked about screening. Would it be possible to update your tree plan to show that on the site plan on one of the sheets?
We had discussed adding some arborvitaes or some yews, something that stays green year round. First thing I would say is all the trees that we showed on the left side that are mature will stay, which is what I discussed with Tom and Mike on our meeting, and our plan reflects that. There's a couple of little spots between trees that could definitely add additional trees or use to give additional screening, particularly to Mike's house. And I'm good with that. So we can just post those on the plan to, add 6-foot arborvitae or pine tree or something like that prior to the next meeting. There actually are some saplings that are 5, 6, 8 feet tall on site that are in spots that they can't stay in. So I would love to just pick them up and move them to the other part of the site. I like reusing native things.
The town's certainly in support of native species. So that would be great if you could bring some ideas in to review.
Sure.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And raised hands? Do we out of raised hands?
I don't see any other raised hands from the public.
Okay, very good. Do we have any written comments from the public, Sadie or Kristen?
Not that I know of, no.
Very good. Now back to Sadie and Kristen. Well, Kristen, do you want to talk on the 90-day timeline?
Sure. Yeah. So I mentioned a couple times maybe before that the 90-day planning board approval deadline for a definitive subdivision plan with a preliminary plan submitted prior is 90 days. So, and that deadline is April 21st. which this is the last meeting before April 21st, so an extension will have to be granted at this meeting. Planning staff recommend a 60-day extension, which will give time for any needed revisions to materials on part of the applicant and writing and revising the decision letter on part of staff. I understand it seems like a long period, but approval could happen, anytime within that period. It's just, it's a cleaner process to give, ample time and instead of granting multiple shorter extensions. So it's our recommendation that the board requests a 60-day extension from the applicant.
Okay. Understanding that the decision will need to take place and comments and meetings on them to review the decision. And we still need to review the feedback from peer review. Makes sense that we request a 60-day extension from the applicant. Mike, is that all right
I'm
with
good
you?
with that. Carissa?
Yes.
Thumbs up. Thank you. All right. Now on to continuing the public hearing. So we should be ready to put them on our next agenda, correct, Kristen?
I think so. We have an extra week this month, so the first Wednesday of May is May 6th.
Okay.
So that'll certainly give time for, any of the outstanding items, time to review the peer review letter and any other updates needed.
Okay, thank you, Kristen. With that said, unless any other planning board members have any comments or questions, I would entertain a motion to continue the public hearing to May 6th at 7:15 p.m. via Zoom.
So moved.
Thank you, Pete. Do I have a second?
Second,
Thank you, Larry. Roll call vote. Pete,
Yes.
Larry,
yes.
Scott,
Yes.
and Steve.
Yes.
And I vote yes as well. Thank you, everyone, and we'll see you on May 6th.
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, can I just ask one question?
Yes.
Jack Sullivan, procedurally, if we show option 1, the intersection improvement, and we come back to this board, would you be approving it with a condition on the select board approving it, or is Mike supposed to go to the select board, then come back to you guys?
Good question. I believe it's the first option. Kristen, can you clarify that? We would approve option 1, and then they would have to submit a letter to the select board to end up on their agenda, correct?
I think that's fine to do it that way. If that makes sense at your end, I think that would keep things moving along.
Yep, I like that option. That makes sense to me. I just wanted to ask it.
Yep. And the select board.
I have a follow-up question on that. Would the select board meeting happen between now and the 60 days?
I would assume it would. See, get you right on their agenda. Kristen could speak to that if I've misspoken. But
We can certainly look at the select board meeting dates and see if that's possible. It also would be possible to just have the condition in the planning board decision, and once that's approved and filed, you could just follow up at your own pace in terms of their approval.
Gotcha.
So I think we can help with whatever works. I can check on when the select board meeting dates are and see that we can coordinate that.
okay. Thank you, Mike, and thank you, Jack. I have a quick question before we switch gears here. May 6th, what day is that?
Wednesday.
Is that the day of town meeting?
Town meeting is May 5th, Tuesday.
May 5th. Okay, very good. Sorry, I got a lot of dates in my head. Just
Yeah.
making sure that we didn't continue this to the day of town meeting. Very good. Thank you, Mike. Thank you, Jack. Thank you, everyone. And
Thank
we'll
you.
see
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
See you on May 6th. Sorry
Thank
for
you.
the brain fog. Moving on, next item on the agenda is this is a request for extension of special permit, Newbury Landfill Solar Project, 75 Boston Road, applicant A Solar, Alliance Clean Energy Inc. Applicant representative Sam Kuda, project manager. I'd like to welcome Sam and ask Sam for an update and to present your request, please. And you're muted. Okay, you're ready to go, Sam.
Yeah, thank you. Can you hear me?
Yep.
All right. So it's Sam Kuda here with Alliance Clean Energy. So I'm here tonight to request an extension of the special permit for the Newbury Landfill Solar Project, as you mentioned. So we're requesting a 2-year extension through June 15th, 2028. This project was originally approved by the planning board back on June 15th, 2022. And then was subsequently amended on May 7th, 2025 for the relocation of the firing range, which the board determined to be, a minor modification. So I do want to emphasize on here that, there has been no material changes to this project, scope, layout and design and all impacts have remained consistent with what was, previously approved. The request for this extension is, primarily related to just project timing and coordination and really largely driven by the alignment with the Smart 3, Massachusetts program incentive. And as those timelines evolved, we've adjusted our schedule accordingly, but it has not resulted in any changes to the project itself. So we are requesting a 2-year extension through June 15th, 2025, or 2028, excuse me.
Okay, thank you, Sam. Planning board members, do you have any questions or comments? We'll start with Pete.
Well, yeah. So since you brought up the Smart 3, what does that mean?
Sorry, can you say that again?
Sure. You brought up the Smart 3 protocol or guidelines. Could you help the board understand what that means and why it's important?
Yeah, it's an incentive-based program through the state of Massachusetts. We originally had the old incentive Smart 2 program, and we had just applied for the new Smart 3 program, which was rolled out earlier this year and approved we did get that approval.
So I guess this is economically driven. Smart 2 had a certain amount of rebate potential and Smart 3 has more?
Yeah, that's correct.
And is that rebate potential beneficial to the community, to the town?
I can circle back on that, get you some more information.
It's a question.
I can get you some more information on that.
Okay.
Okay. Any other questions, Pete? No. Larry, do you have any questions or comments?
No, I don't have anything.
Scott, do you have any questions or comments?
None, thanks.
Okay. Steve, do you have any questions or comments?
Just a quick one. If I did a little Googling, would I be able to read up on Smart 3 in the interim?
Yeah, for sure. And we can, again, like I said, we can definitely provide some more details on that.
Sure.
Okay.
Thank
Go
you.
ahead, Steve, if it's quick. It would be great. Otherwise, we can wait for an update.
Yeah. I'll Google it. Thank you.
Okay. I'm actually interested in hearing the answer to that question as well that Pete arose. So, but with that said, what are the wishes of the board? Do we wish to continue this discussion to our next meeting? Pete, you look like you were going to say something.
I think it's an academic thing because the incentive is the incentive, and that's probably the direction that the applicant wants to go in, and it probably makes sense. I would not want to see this project wither on the vine. I would like to see it going forward since it's been on a vine for quite some time.
Yeah. When is the expiration date of this project? This, that requires this extension. Does anyone know that date?
It's a 2-year extension request, so it's June 15th, 2026.
Okay, so we have time to put them on the next agenda. We can get updated on Smart 3. Does that sound reasonable to the board? I'm not hearing anything, so we'll get you on the next agenda to hear about Smart 3, if that's all right with you, Sam.
Yep, thank you.
All right, have a great night, and we'll see you next meeting.
Thank you.
All right, next item on the agenda, old business. Project update, closeout on special permit for solar generating facility 136, 140 R Main Street, assessors map, R41-0-42. Applicant, Standard Solar. Applicant's representative, Rob Rosine, Waterstone Engineering. Do we have Rob Rosine with us this evening?
Yes, I'm here. Good evening.
Hi, Rob. Go ahead and give us an update, please.
Okay, just a quick update is I think last we spoke, there was discussion about looking at potential alternatives to the screening. And after having heard back from town council that would involve a public hearing, I think there is zero interest in that. And Standard Solar will not be doing that. It took 4 years to permit this, and there will be no chance that this is going back to public hearing. So we will plant and plant and plant and plant. So the plan at this moment is to essentially go back and plant as permitted in the January 18th, 2022, I believe is the dates, piece that had all the plant species and locations identified. And for some reason that I can't really answer because I wasn't involved at that time, the choice of plantings was changed, and the location of plantings was moved from the edge of the clearing into the woods. And what we can see now is that what was approved in the permitted condition is actually successful, and that what was changed is unsuccessful. So put simply, vegetation that is white pine and spruce on the edge of the clearing all have roughly an 80% success rate, maybe even a little bit higher. Everything that's internal has nearly 100% lack of success. And the amount of die-off in there is essentially complete. And there's some very questionable choices of what was actually planted. There's deciduous in there, which doesn't make sense. There's things that are not terribly fast growing, that aren't especially large. I don't know why the choice. I mean, there's shrubs in there, so I'm not entirely sure why those choices were made, but it kind of doesn't matter. We're going to go back to the permitted condition. For that, we don't need to seek another round of hearing or changes or anything. And we would and if you'd like, I'd be happy to show you the permitted plan that is essentially what we plan to implement. And I don't have a number of plantings really at this point to provide, but other than to say we have approximately a third of the area that has been successful. That's the area on the edge of the clearing. And it extends probably 20 feet or so in from the edge, versus some of the other areas which are really well inside, so they're not getting any sun. And yeah, so if you'd like, I can show you that, or we can answer any other questions you might have. Oh, I'm
It would
sorry.
be helpful.
One last thing. So then the plan would be to replant this growing season, so presumably early summer, and then you won't hear from me until next growing season, when we'll all throw a great big party and look at how wonderful everything looks, and we'll walk away with hopefully a sign off.
It sounds like a plan, Rob.
Okay.
If you want to pop it up real quick, and I'll go through the board while it's up on the screen for
Okay.
questions from the board.
That sounds great. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
We'll have something good to look at while we go through questions.
Okay, let me see what I got here.
And I'll start with Pete. Pete, do you have any questions, comments on this, on what Rob's presented?
Well, no, I'm glad that I guess we're going back to what was approved to be done. And Rob, thank you for navigating that. And is it a 1 year growth period, or do we do a 2 year growth period? I remember how the condition was. I don't remember how the condition was originally written.
So it's a good question. I'm not actually sure. I think I would say that, did that share? No, wrong screen.
It did share, yes.
I think, which screen are you seeing? A CV or a PDF?
It looks like a PDF, and it shows the plantings close to the solar array right near the fence.
Okay, great. And normally I get a red box around the screen I'm sharing, so I don't see that, but that's fine. Okay, so this date is the January 31st, 2018. This is the approval plan set. And in this, I'll just zoom in here quickly for you before I do the details. But this is what we propose to plant, and for whatever reason, what was actually planted was different than this, and I can show you what was planted. But what was not planted were the emerald. Let's see, what was not planted. We did not. Oh, interesting. I said arborvitae, but I was wrong. This is pitch pine. So what we did not plant was these junipers. What we did plant was the white pine and the pitch pine, I believe. No. I thought they were spruce. I'm gonna have to confirm that. But here, this was what the approval was on, and you can see there's a pretty significant numbers here. So we had, whatever that is, that's 70. It's close to 100 trees in there of significant height, 10 to 12, 8 to 10, 8 to 10, and these were all proposed to be planted on the edge. And let me show you what was actually planted. So what was oh yeah, so this is the same one. Oh yeah, that's the 131 approval. And this is what the actual planting location is, or the approximate planting location. So what we see, and then I've colored it so you can see what worked and what didn't. So this area, are you still following me? Is this legible for everybody?
Yes. Yep.
Okay. So area 1 here shown in red is approximately 80% successful, maybe even a little more than that. And you can see it's fairly close to the clearing. Area 2 is, I don't actually think it's either fully dead or it wasn't planted, which is a little odd. And then area 3 is fully dead. There's essentially no success, and there's evidence of all the spruce that had died. And here is the planting proposal, which I found in my files, but I actually wasn't involved in this. I don't think I was actually even working on this project at that time. I think it had just been sent to me. Hold on a moment. For some reason, I just lost that up above. Oh man. Let's see. We're going
Is this the green box on this plan
that
here?
again. And do that. We're going to go back. Gonna go back to Word. Oh, baby.
Rob, the green box on the screen that we're seeing now, what is that? That has nothing in it.
The green box. Oh yeah, thank you. That would be where all the replantings will occur in the green box, and that would be consistent with the approval. So if you go back to the approval, this is the approval, right? So if we were to just draw briefly around this, this is the area that was essentially planted as per the approval, and then for some reason we adjusted it, and this area down here, which will change the color, got moved and inland and or not, yeah, inland, but inward into forest, and this area was unsuccessful.
So essentially, what you're proposing with the green box is more consistent with the original plan that you state from 2020 to January, whatever the date was.
That's right,
Correct?
2018. Yeah, yeah, that's exactly right. I'm sorry, my computer really doesn't like it when I'm sharing my screen. I need a new computer.
Right.
It's going very slow, but this is the area that was not successful. So if we go back just briefly, so that's green, and that's the same green here that we would adjust that over. And let me go find that email that I sent to.
Okay, thank you, Rob.
Do you want to see the list of what was planted? I can show you that. I'd have to dig it up.
The list is the list. It's on the decision. So that's if that's your intentions to plant that, we have an understanding of that.
No, yes. What is shown here is what will be planted. Yes, absolutely.
Thank you. No, that's good. You don't have to share that.
Okay, thank you.
Through the board. Pete, you're all set, right? I'll move on to Larry. Larry, do you have any questions or comments?
Nope, I'm good.
Scott, questions or comments?
All set.
Steve, questions or comments?
All set.
All right, and I am as well. Thank you, Rob, and good
Okay.
luck with everything. The only thing I do have is I know we already discussed it, but we have to determine whether it's 1 year or 2 years survivability rate, correct? Did we get an answer to that? I don't recall. I'm sorry.
I don't know, but I will follow up with Kristen on that. It's listed under the approval condition, so it'll be fairly easy if there's a duration. There may not have been a duration. I'm not saying there isn't, but what I recall is just the screening requirement. So I don't remember if that was 1 or 2 years or no time at all.
I don't remember, but we'll check on that. And I know there's some additional landscaping that has to go through the CONSCOM to Rob, right? So we'll make sure we coordinate. I know it's in a different location, not in this location, but we can just confirm.
That's right. That's right. We'll be in contact over that.
Okay, thank you so much, Rob.
Thank you. You all have a great night. Enjoy the start of spring.
Yep.
Thank
we'll
you.
see you in the future.
All right. Bye-bye.
Good luck with everything.
Thank you. You too.
All right. And that's next item on the agenda. This is a brief project update on the closeout site plan review application at 84 Boston Road, assessors map R36-0-23A, owner Sled Road LLC, applicant K&R Construction Company. Kevin Whitney, welcome. You're here with us.
Yes.
I'll start by saying that we had a meeting with town council after our last meeting on April 1st. We met with town council. We have been advised by Lisa Mead to issue a letter that says that you have 45 days to turn in the updated as-built plan in letter. The materials to go to peer review. They will then go to peer review. And then back to Millennial to get a response. And then we'll have you back, Kevin, to go through after the board's gotten a chance to review the peer review and everything and the response from Millennial. And we get all that information turned into the board. Kristen's going to issue you a letter tomorrow, and we'll get you back on the agenda as soon as those three things are provided, and have been distributed to the board. And we'll get you back on an agenda, and we'll continue this process.
Okay, sounds good.
Questions and comments for everything that has to go on from there. So, thank you for your attendance tonight, Kevin, and we'll see you on either the next agenda or the one after, whatever it takes for you to provide the board with those three things.
Sounds good.
All right. Have a good night, Kevin, and thank you.
Thank you.
Yep. And
Did you want that in a motion, Woody?
I was just about to start that out. Do we need to have a vote on that?
I think that would be great, just and to just authorize you as chair to, approve and sign the letter once drafted.
Okay, great. And I will be available to do that tomorrow. And with that said, I'd entertain a vote to direct staff to draft and planning board chair to review and approve a letter to applicant defining a 45-day timeline to update the as-built plan and engineer's certification letter and proceed with peer review and applicant's response to peer review. Do I have a motion?
You have that motion.
Thank you, Larry. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Scott. Roll call vote. Pete?
Yes.
Larry?
Yes.
Scott?
Yes.
Steve?
Yes.
And I vote yes as well. So that gets out of the way, so that's covered. And as I said, Sadie and Kristen, someone contact me tomorrow when I'm coming in and sign, so that we'll get that going and move on with the 45 days if that's what it takes. Next item on the agenda is 100 High Road. Minor modification request of the subdivision approval to allow Lot 1A to use Cypress Hollow for access to their house and barn. And with that read and said, I am recused, so I will turn it over to Pete. Pete.
Thanks, Woody. So this will be a minor modification request for subdivision approval for Cypress Hollow subdivision at 100 High Road, Assessors Map R34, Lot 21, Lot 1A, property owner Neil Swain, applicant's representative is John Moran, PE of Moran Cameron Group, to allow Lot 1A to use Cypress Hollow Road for driveway access to the barn and to a new house. Who would like to speak to the board on this?
Good evening. For the record, John Moran from the Moran Cameron Group. We're here tonight representing Neil Swain for the minor modification request for the subdivision known as Cypress Hollow. I did present the plan at the last hearing. I don't know if the board would like me to present it again. Your consultant, Mr. Sawaka, had some comments, and the board asked that we respond to those comments in writing, which we did. I can go to those comments, or I can go through the plan quickly again first. It's up to the board.
Why don't we touch on the plan and then go right to the comments?
Great. May I share my screen?
Sure.
I think you should be able to see my screen, correct?
Yes.
So, as was stated, as the board may remember as well, Cypress Hollow was a subdivision coming in off a high road. The existing property had an existing house and an existing barn, existing dwelling. Oops.
And John, if it would be helpful at all as we're talking through this, I do have the two watershed plans side by side. If you want us to reference those at all, we can cut to that.
Yeah, I got the new one up. I can show them that right afterwards. Thanks, Neil. So the existing dwelling is located here. The existing barn is here. What Mr. Swain is proposing is he actually wants to raise the existing dwelling, build a new dwelling, access off of Cypress Hollow, and then he also wants to bring access off Cypress Hollow for the barn. The board may recall back when the subdivision was approved, I believe it was Pete, who recommended to Mr. Nevy at the time to include Lot 1A in the homeowners agreement for Cypress Hollow. Originally, Mr. Nevy did not have that lot on there, but it was added, so the documents don't need to be modified to bring the driveway for Lot 1A out onto Cypress Hollow. So what we did is we prepared this engineered site plan. If you may recall, there was a drainage swale kind of right along the side of the road that went down to a drainage basin to flow over to a sediment forebay. So we've modified that swale slightly based on the grading required to get the house in. We had to put a pipe underneath the proposed driveway going to the barn. Mr. Sawaka had some comments. I can dive right into his comments, or I can just answer questions from the board with regards to the site plans. Pretty basic. Again, driveway coming in off of Cypress. We're going to use the existing septic system to accommodate the proposed dwelling. And we will be submitting a plan to the Board of Health to show that connection. But it's pretty basic. We'll flow by gravity to the existing septic tank. Most likely the Board of Health will want us to inspect the tank to verify, even though that a Title V was done about a year and a half ago, the tank and the field had passed that inspection. Most likely the board will want another inspection of that tank since it's been over a year and verify that it's still in good shape for us to tie into it. But I could take comments from the board right now with regards to the plan before I get into Mr. Sawaka's comments.
Let's see if anybody has any questions. Larry, do you have any questions at this point?
Yeah, I did see your response to Joe Sawaka's March 13th letter. Have you seen his April 13th letter?
Yes.
Okay, and it looks to me, based on that there's just one item needs to be addressed. The flow path on Lot 1A and Lot 2 along the Southerly project. Maybe you can speak to that. Has that been addressed in the plan?
It does. I can address that in a minute. We were talking about the plan view, but if you want to jump into Joe's comments, I'd be happy to get into that. So,
well, as long as you, I mean, do it at your own pace. But that's something I'd like you to comment on at some point.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Thank you, Larry. Steve, any questions on the design modifications?
No, I don't. Thank you.
Okay, great. Larry, Scott?
Just on the proposed driveways off of Cypress, it's a pretty big grade differential from High Road to the driveway entrances to the barn and the house, correct?
Yeah, well, the grade change, Cypress Hollow is around 9 or 10% grade proposed. The driveways are sliding up to try to maintain a reasonable pitch coming off the road slope. We did have to fill this in to get this driveway to work. Once we get down to the bottom by the barn, it's a lot easier to grade this out. So the driveways coming to the structures aren't steep at all. You just have to deal with the grade change coming on the side of the pavement.
Right.
But we're able to grade those out.
Planning on about a half a foot difference from the edge of the existing structure to the Cypress Road tie-in, Cypress Hollow tie-in.
Okay. Well, all right. That's really the only two questions that I have, or one question, two-part.
Thanks, Scott. Okay, John, do you want to go continue on then?
Sure. So, Mr. Sawaka had some comments. I'll just run through his original comments and his comments from his April 3rd letter. And I'm going to call up. So his first comment is pretty basic. He was questioning whether the work required out in DOT, which is going to be the utilities and the removal of the existing pavement for the house out in the right-of-way of High Road, if they were going to file a separate DOT permit or if they'd try to piggyback onto the permit for Cypress Hollow. And Mr. Swain will be filing a separate permit with DOT to do this work. the utility companies actually have to file separately with DOT to do the other work. And we just put that in writing, and Joe kind of responded and said, it appears Mr. Swain will deal with DOT directly. Next comment Joe had was with regards to the septic system. And when we did the original topography for this project, we weren't planning on doing anything behind the existing dwelling on Lot 1A because all this was going to remain. So we didn't do a full detailed topo all the way down to where the leach bed is. So when we showed the proposed grading coming off the back of the house, this was to show the intent of grading, which is it's going to be a walkout basement on this downside, and then the grade's going to climb up to the high side of the back of the dwelling. And Joe's only comment was, is there enough room to grade this out without affecting the leach bed, the existing leach bed? And based on available GIS topography, we've already confirmed that we'll be able to grade this no problem. And we will be putting a plan together that will be submitted to the Board of Health. This is really a Board of Health issue. So prior to being able to get a building permit, he's going to need sign off from Board of Health. And we're going to put a separate plan together for the Board of Health to show that the grading will not affect the existing leach bed. And Joe just says that, that we agreed that the Board of Health would be looking at this design plan. And with regards to the last comment, Joe was just recommending that because of the change on the site, he wanted to, or he recommended to the board, you may want additional drainage calcs. So we submitted additional drainage calculations to show that the proposed changes in the lot development, the proposed change in the subcatchment would not affect the proposed drainage that was designed under the Cypress Hollow subdivision. And it appears based on Joe's comment, he agreed with that. The point that he's trying to make is if you look at this subcatchment here, which includes a portion of Lot 1A, a portion of Lot 2, you'll see this flow path running on the, unfortunately, we forgot to put a north arrow on that plan. North is straight up the page, I believe. I'll tell you in a minute. Yeah, so north is going straight up the page. So this is the southerly lot line. So this flow path is the exact same flow path as shown on the original subdivision. The only thing that has changed is this subcatchment here got slightly bigger to accommodate the changes in grading at the front of the lot. So this water from 1A always still goes in the same location. And if you look at the grading on the subdivision plans, which is what is shown on here, you'll see that there's a 38 contour here, a 39 spot grade, a 38 contour here, a 37.5 spot grade in the driveway here, a 37 low spot, and an elevation 36 here. So any water coming off of lot 1 comes to the low spot, which is at elevation 37, and then flows around the house because, again, this is getting filled up. So you've got 38, 37 and a half. So this flows around the house down to the 36. And I think all that Joe's comment is that the board may want to pose a condition that runoff from lot 1A, as shown on the post of the revised drainage plan, will be maintained. You can't say that the entire lot 1A, because the front portion of lot 1A, as shown on the drainage plans, actually goes into the drainage system. And that's why Joe originally wanted us to evaluate, or he recommended that we submit revised drainage calculations, which we did. And it showed that we didn't have to adjust the drainage, that it worked fine. So we don't have any problems with any condition that just says the drainage, drainage patterns shown on the plans need to be approved. I mean, that's kind of the end of it. It's pretty basic, but I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Okay. Thank you, John. Let me see. Kristen, do you have anything that we need to add to this conversation?
I just was wondering, could you explain your water supply? I know new wells were drilled for the 2 new lots, and I don't remember what the existing house I believe they were tied in. Could you just talk about that?
The existing house is on town water. So the two new houses both have wells, but the existing house is on town water, and the utilities that service the existing house, water, electric, and cable and electric, will all be brought in from the existing connections. So for example, you can see here the water service coming in off of High Road to the existing dwelling. They're going to actually tap that out in the right of way. And that's why the utility providers are going to have to file with DOT. The gas service is going to tap into the existing gas service that's going to the house. And they're going to run that over. And then the utilities are coming in underground from this existing pole. Currently, these utilities are overhead to this building. So all the utilities to the proposed dwelling will all be from the existing same locations that were coming in for the existing dwelling. So lot 1A will not have a well.
Yeah, and our goal with that water service is not to need to go into the pavement area of 1A, just stay downstream of the existing isolation so that we're minimizing disturbance to the actual roadway.
Has that been reviewed with the city of Newburyport yet, or is that still to come?
That is still to come.
Okay.
And Kristen, with some trust documents that we just needed to alert the board on?
Yes, so I had a back and forth with Tom Nevey regarding the there's language in the current trust documents that allows for 1A to join the trust, but it does require an amendment to be filed. So Tom has already requested his attorney get those documents drafted, and he will submit them to us. I have not seen them yet.
Okay. So Neil, then you would become part of the HOA for this, correct?
That's correct. Yeah, I'm aware of the details of that trust, and Tom and I have talked about that. So he's keeping me in the loop on the specifics of that amendment.
Right. Because I remember there was some specifics on construction and appearance of buildings and approval.
Correct.
Okay, as long as you're
yeah.
aware of that. Okay, good.
I am, and Tom and I are in lockstep on those reviews and staying on the same page. So as the direct abutter to this subdivision, I'm thankful to have the opportunity to kind of become a part of the little neighborhood that's developing there. So I think that it was helpful to have that option coming into this neighborhood.
Great. Let me see if our board members have any other questions. I'm going to go back to forward. Scott, any other questions?
I have no questions.
All right, Steve, you're still in the middle.
I still remained okay.
Okay, Larry?
I'm good.
Okay. Then I would entertain a motion to request a minor modification to the subdivision approval of Cypress Hollow 100 High Road, and contingent upon final approval of the stormwater by peer review and approval of town council for the amendments of the trust documents.
So moved.
Thank you, Steve. Do we have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Larry. Roll call vote. Scott?
Yes.
Thank you. Larry?
Yes.
And Steve, you're no longer in the middle.
Yes.
Okay, great. There you have it. Thanks very much, folks.
Thank you very much. Have a good night.
Thanks,
Woody,
all.
back to you.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you, everyone. You can hear me? We'll turn to the last thing on the agenda. These are the fiscal year 27 appointments. Votes to recommend to the select board. The three things are, we have the planning board member of Conservation Commission. So 3-year liaison position. We have MVPC commissioner, 1 year. And we have MVPC alternate commissioner, which is also 1 year. So I had received a email from Joy, who is Tracy's assistant, that my time was running up with the Conservation Commission as liaison. So I decided to throw this on the agenda. I know it's still April, but the terms run up in June, and I figured we'll throw it on here and get it out of the way. So with that said, I enjoyed being the Conservation Commission liaison. I've been at it, I think it's been 2 years. If it's been 3 years, I don't know where the time's going. But with that said, I would like to remain on as Conservation Commission and leave it open to discussion with the board if anyone has any comments or questions.
I am perfectly happy with you remaining on as member, Woody, the Conservation Commission member.
Thank you, Larry. Anyone else have any comments or questions?
I was hoping that you would want to remain on, Woody's. So, here.
Thank you, Steve, and I look forward to continuing. So I appreciate your comments.
So this is only 3 years, Woody, not 6?
And it's 3 more years, yes. So,
Okay,
And,
excellent.
and just for clarification, because 3 + 3, yes. But I'll tell you, Woody, I'm glad that you're, the commissioner and continue as a commissioner, because it takes 3 to 5 years just to get your feet comfortable with being on the Conservation Commission. So I encourage you to continue onward.
Okay.
I concur.
I would like to make a motion then
Okay,
that
we'll
Woody
do
Knight
this
continue as our Conservation Commissioner.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call vote. Pete,
Yes, sir.
Larry,
Yes.
Scott,
Yes.
and Steve.
Aye.
And whether I need to vote or not, I will vote yes as well. And thank you, everyone.
Congratulations.
Yes, another 3 years.
Thank you.
Okay, we'll move on to MVPC Commissioner, 1-year reappointment recommendation from the Select Board. This is currently held by Kristen. Yeah, so I'll leave the floor open for anyone that wishes to make comments or questions, or Kristen as well. So
Makes perfect sense to continue. Kristen, if you'd like to.
I'm happy to continue. It's a really rich conversation every week, and happy to continue to bring back any relevant topics to all of you.
all right.
Thank
Very good.
you.
If that being said, if no one else has any comments, I would entertain a motion to appoint Kristen Grubbs as our MVPC Commissioner for the fiscal year of 27.
27.
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. And second thank you, Scott. Thank you, Steve. Roll call vote. Pete,
Absolutely.
Larry,
Yes.
Scott,
Yes, and thank you for doing this.
and Steve.
I concur with the thank you and say yes.
And I concur as well. Yes, and thank you, Kristen. You're signed up for
You're welcome.
fiscal year 27. That
Sounds
moves us
good.
on to the alternate MVPC Commissioner position, which is also 1 year, and I believe that is Pete. Pete signed up for that. So
At this
conversation
point in
from him and the board.
time, yes, at this point in time, I would like to make a suggestion. Steve, would you like to carry the baton?
I consider it, but I confess that I'm not really aware of what I would have to do. So that's just a point of hesitation.
It is so heavy. This baton weighs at least 300 pounds. But it's a great way to, start to, get a feel for what MVPC does. Because I know Sadie works closely with Kristen, so she knows what's going on. So to having a board member know what's going on, I think it's a fit.
Sure, and I'll be hoping to talk about it more should the rest of the planning board agree that I should become the person in your place. Plus, I know Gerard, he's a near neighbor.
Oh.
The shorthand is if there are meetings I can't attend, you're welcome to attend. It's always good to have every town in the MVPC region represented. It's sort of like a run through of what every department at the agency is doing. So there's a lot of summaries that have just, and then there's usually some kind of board oversight, approvals of budgets and things like that.
Sure. Well, if elected, I will serve, but I will have some questions in anticipation
talk.
of attending a meeting.
Happy to talk more about it.
All
I
right.
move we recommend Steve as alternate MVPC commissioner.
All right, take that as a motion, Larry, and I agree.
Be happy to second.
Okay, thank you, Pete. That took the words out of my mouth. Do I have a second? So thank you, Larry. Thank you, Pete. Roll call vote. Pete?
Yes.
Larry?
Yeah.
Scott?
Yes.
Steve?
Well, I'll follow Woody's precedent and vote for myself and say yes.
And I vote yes as well. Thank you, Steve. Congratulations. And
Thanks for volunteering, Steve.
I was
I'm sure Kristen will get you up to speed as to things in the future that come up with MVPC and what your role is.
Just like
These recommendations will go to the select board, and then the select board actually makes the appointments. So I can follow up with Joy and see when that'll be on a select board agenda.
Great, and so we'll all wait in anticipation of the select board approvals.
Thank you.
All right, and I don't see anything else on the agenda, but I will say that if there's anything from staff that they didn't get to cover on their report, speak up. Otherwise, I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
So moved. Second.
All right, I got a first. Motion by Steve, second by Scott. Roll call vote. Pete?
Yes.
Larry? Scott?
Yes.
Yes.
Steve? And I vote yes as well. Good night,
Yes.
everyone. Thank you. And we
Good
will
night.
see you at town meeting.